I'm Maxine Goodman, the mother of Lori Vandevelde, and I'm going to talk about 2 fires that happened in my family within 5 years. In early May of 1959, it was on a Sunday morning, my sister and I had gone to church, and while we were in church, we heard the fire truck go through town with the sirens on, not knowing it was going to our house. A short time later, my aunt came in and said she needed to talk to me. She did, and she told me the house had burnt down. So my dad had gone in to turn the oven off, and while he was in, he was burnt. He burnt his hands, his eyebrows, eyelashes, singed his face, and the top of his ears. He was taken to the hospital, treated and released. We lived with our grandmother. We lived out in the country. We were farmers. We lived out in the country. About 4 months later, our new house was built, and we moved back home. Then in January of 1964, my sisters and I were home for the weekend, and Dad had gone. It was about 4 o'clock, and my dad was going out to do the chores, and upon arrival in the barn, he saw a bale of hay on fire. He picked it up, carried it out, hoping to contain the fire, and then when he realized that his clothes were on fire, he came to the house and said, "Call the fire department. The barn's on fire, and so am I." Mother grabbed a blanket to smother out the flames on him. We all rushed to the barn to open up the doors, get the truck out. He attempted to start the tractor, but to no avail. He did not get it started. We had to just let it go. The animals all got out. As we were leaving the barn area, he hollered, "Just let her go, let her go." We went up to the house to call the neighbor because we could not get our car past the flames. They were so high and so hot that he said, we got to get him to the hospital because he was so badly burnt. So we had to call a neighbor, and while we were waiting on the neighbors to come and pick him up, he rolled in our front yard. There was snow on the ground, and he just rolled on the yard in tremendous pain. It wasn't too long before the word was out that the barn was on fire, and family and friends all started arriving. It burnt for like 3 days and 4 nights. Some of the men stayed there nonstop, never left the fire unattended at all. Dad was in the local hospital for about 13 days, waiting to go to the KU Med Center, waiting for a room to open up in the burn unit of the KU Med Center. Upon arrival there, they took him by ambulance, and on arrival there, they instantly started doing skin grafting. Mom had gone with him, and she had a room close by. She spent as much time with him as she could, but he had been told that he would have many, many months of skin grafting. We thought he was doing as well as he could, being he was a man of 60 years old. Like I said, skin grafting was going well, and one of my sisters had gone down for the weekend to spend the weekend with him, and they had visited him that night. He was in a very good frame of mind. He told him goodbye, that he'd see him again tomorrow, and about midnight that night, Mother got a call to come to the hospital. She went to the hospital, and they had told her that he had passed. And, we didn't know why. So an autopsy was performed, and it showed that he had had a blood clot from the leg that had gone to the lung. But he was so badly burnt because he was burnt beyond the veins in his leg. So if we had just been thinking properly, we probably would have known that there was such a risk in where we were and what they were doing with him. Because when you're burnt that bad, you've got a long recovery, and you've got lots of obstacles against you. As we were shaving him, because his face had been burned, we were shaving him. We got the whiskers off a few days before he passed, and he asked for a mirror, and a mirror was given to him, and he looked in the mirror, and he said, "I'm not such a bad-looking man after all." And I had a big smile on his face, not knowing that that was going to be the last time I was going to see my dad, because just 2 days later, it was the end. So that's the story that happened within our family.